All right, so game 2 in ASC Weekly number 8 Gold Platinum Finals is on Jakura's Plateau, and in the bottom right we have CichMo, this time spawning as the yellow Protoss, and in the bottom left we have GaHoViper spawning as the orange Protoss once again. Their arrangement was that whoever won the last game gets to be orange, because they both really wanted to be orange for some reason, and GaHoViper did take the last game. He is up 1-0. And thus he is allowed to be orange this game, as per their agreement. This is a close grounds position on Shakura's Plateau, where there's a little happy face, as cliche as that is, between the bases. And destructible rocks, of course, which can make for some very interesting, very aggressive games. And I've seen these used a lot more in the past few days, couple of weeks, especially in PvPs, where they're using the backdoor as the backdoor ramp because it's harder to force field off for 4 gates and that sort of thing. So a lot of times they'll like do a proxy pylon right between bases or something, and then take down these rocks and try and warp into the high ground, and it's really hard to stop because you have to use so many more force fields to be able to effectively hold it off.
Yeah, GaHoViper actually scouting the way that he would scout as if this was a normal 4-player map, but it is in fact Shakura's Plateau, which means that you can never spawn above or below your opponent.
Yes, only cross or vertical positions on Shakura's Plateau. I love how they're orange and yellow. That's super awesome. That should be really easy to discern between the different kinds of zealots.
That'll make it really easy to narrate the action correctly and accurately.
Yeah.
And also to get your recommended daily dose of vitamin C. GaHoViper once again hiding his probe up in the corner of the base, just to be able to check around. Probably wants to just see if CichMo is going to go for that same gateway side core robo build that he has been doing, and with the second gas timing, it's looking a lot like that is quite likely to happen. But in the meantime, we have a second gateway going up for GaHoViper. Looks like he's not really planning to do anything particularly out of the ordinary. Nothing super aggressive yet.
Well, GaHoViper once again hiding a probe in the corner of CichMo's main, hoping again either to get some more scouting out of it or to drop down a proxy pylon. I would definitely recommend he try putting down a proxy pylon, because even if it doesn't work, it's not that much of an investment.
And he'll probably, if he's not going to do it for that, or even if he is, he'll probably move down really soon. Oh, looks like CichMo is onto his tricks. The probe is dislodged from its hiding place. But he's going to go down and he's going to see, hey look, it's a robo facility. What does this look like? The same build. So he's probably going to be pretty happy to see that as his gameplay against this build last game.
He did, however, get pylon blocked for a short time, which is going to cut into his production capacity. Well, his production speed, rather, and that's definitely not good. And it looks like he's going to that Blink Stalker build again. This game might be looking suspiciously similar to the last.
Yeah, especially considering they're close by ground positions, which makes it I believe, a pretty comfortable distance as opposed to cross positions, which is much, much longer.
Oh my man, your mic like blurred a little bit when you said longer, and I thought you said hunger, and I was like, I have that.
Subsum's condition causing him to hear things in ways that are more related to his condition. And once again, GaHoViper got pylon blocked. It's the second pylon in a row that he has missed, actually. And we have CichMo asking very, very desperately for no blanc, which is seems to be his way of asking. I keep forgetting the players' names. I've been casting them all night. His way of asking GaHoViper to not go for Blink Stalkers, and when he saw several Stalkers with not really anything else happening again, he was made sad
It would appear that GaHoViper is going to oblige CichMo's request. He's going to say, all right, yeah, I'm not going to go Blink. You're right. Blink. I'm not going to go Blink. Yeah, it's kind of mean. I'm gonna go Fast Colossi instead. And that is exactly what he's doing. The Robotics Bay is about half done now. And CichMo has not even started anything. He's getting a lot of Immortals out, though, so... the problem with Immortals versus Colossi, though, is just force fields. Your opponents, you can basically use your Colossus to crush whatever force fields you find inconvenient, and set up whatever force fields you feel like would be convenient.
Yep, and actually, CichMo's regular attack timing with this is coming up pretty soon. He's adding in his other 2 Warp Gates. He's already knocked the backdoor rocks down. Immortals are quite effective against Colossi, especially when the Colossi do not have the Thermal Lance upgrade, which they currently do not. The Warp Prism coming out to do his signature lifting things off of the ground move with a Warp Prism. And he's going to go hit the rocks before that first Colossus comes out. And it looks like he's probably going to hit there at a really, really nice time and probably going to do quite significant damage to GaHoViper's base. GaHoViper notices pretty quickly that those rocks actually just kind of were starting to disappear. And, oh, nice. Force fields the bottom of the ramp so that CichMo can't get vision up there, can't attack up there, can't do anything, really has to just kind of park outside and wait. However, the Warp Prism arrives, he's going to be able to lift up and drop inside the base, and it looks like he wants to go to the same place that his army is going to engage instead of a different place to drop those.
Oh, that Warp Prism almost goes down before the Immortals come out, and the Immortals are up there on their own doing nothing, and he tries to move over them maybe to pick them up, but he doesn't get it. Doesn't get anything accomplished there that he wanted to do, and now GaHoViper with some really nice control is making CichMo's push have a really hard time. Nice micro on that Colossus there, forcing the Immortals to push in without doing any damage, and now this Colossus, still alive, is going to pull back, and CichMo keeps trying to target fire that Colossus, but he just keeps losing DPS from it, and CichMo's push has gotten completely shot down, lost all of his Immortals, and that's a huge investment to have lost. He is doing 4-gate Immortal, neither player opting for an expansion. GaHoViper instead pushing out, trying to do a counterattack. He should probably at least have waited for this Colossus to get a few shields back. And no more Colossi on the way just yet. It looks like he's just reinforcing with gateway units for now, and it looks like he's, instead of pushing up, he's just going to pull back. I think he feels pretty safe at this point. But a lot of Stalkers now coming out from CichMo. This is really iffy, because this Colossus can do a lot of damage, but these Stalkers, being so big, do mitigate a lot of splash damage. And both players are going to, I think, enter this sort of period of neither of us wants to attack.
Another Colossus is on the way for GaHoViper. That entire battle was really just an example of how effective force fields can be at holding off early aggression, giving you enough time to get the critical units you need in order to deal with it. And I think some of those decisions that CichMo made with regards to how he used his Warp Prism were probably not optimal for the situation. You really don't want to get your Immortals isolated from the rest of your army while they're trying to fight. If you're going to go drop somewhere else on the base to try to force them to split up their army or else to go focus elsewhere and divert their attention, that's one thing. But picking up some Immortals like that with your Warp Prism, going into the same place you're trying to attack with your main army, and having the Immortals up there without the rest of your army there to support them is just really not going to do very well for your attack.
CichMo now trying to get up an expansion. Looks like it'll probably be pretty safe because this back lane is going to be the primary lane for attack. There are 2 Colossi out now for GaHoViper, and Thermal Lance has been completed, so it's going to be a lot harder for CichMo to be able to push up and target fire those Colossi, particularly with the Immortals having only 5 range as opposed to the now 9 of the Colossus. And both players continuing to pump gateway units, but a lot of money just got invested into CichMo's expansion, so it looks like CichMo's army is suffering slightly from it. He is behind by 24 food, and he cannot force field to buy time, and it looks like this push from GaHoViper that he's been sort of hinting at for a while now could
it's not going to come.
Yeah, is apparently is apparently just not going to happen, although he is being very menacing. Definitely threatening aggression and getting an expansion up of his own.
Second Robo going down for CichMo, actually. He's going to be able to get, based on his play so far, he's going to be able to get a ton of Immortals. And once the economy from this base really starts kicking in, he'll probably want that gas really soon, actually. Gas is going to be kind of his limiting factor quite soon once he's building out of both of these robotics facilities. And it looks like GaHoViper actually is also now expanding. He'll be a little bit later on that, but he does have the army advantage. So if he goes around the front, he can disrupt mining at this base, possibly even take it out. He has a superior army.
He has
at the moment.
He has the advantage of force fields. Those Colossi completely nullify the force field advantage for the opponent. He can force field this bottom ramp, completely kill this base. And then if his opponent starts trying to do a counterattack, he can easily just crush those force fields and move into the main.
All of those probes go down. That Colossus has only 2 kills. The other Colossus has 7 kills, and I believe all of those, or most of those, are probes.
And CichMo is going for the counterattack. He's taking 5 Immortals and a bunch of Stalkers and pushing in, but GaHoViper has those force fields, and it looks like it's all going to be up to this Warp Prism to make sure that CichMo can do any kind of damage. This Colossus is going to get picked off quite fast, as Colossi do die incredibly quickly, but in the meantime, GaHoViper's whole army is in CichMo's main. It looks like we're going to have yet another base race from these guys. That's 2 base races in a row. CichMo has a slightly smaller army and no Colossi, but these huge Immortal numbers could be something that is a huge threat to GaHoViper's main. GaHoViper, realizing that, is taking his army and is just going to pull back. He knows he has the army advantage, and he knows that if he does this right, he can kill this army, save most of his base, and after having done so much damage to his opponent, he can actually easily come out ahead. He needs to crush that force field with his Colossi. Right now, his Stalkers are getting demolished by those Immortals. Those Stalkers completely by themselves. He needs those Zealots up there to do the damage to the Immortals. Picking up that Warp Prism, but it gets picked off while 2 Immortals are in it, and that's a huge loss for CichMo. That was pretty much his only hope left of coming out ahead in this battle. CichMo, understanding that, and somewhat frustrated, types out, "That was an awesome game."